It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbing Minds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Obiuchendu. Thanks a lot for joining us. We have a lot to talk about on the show today. Of course, security, or the lack of it, is going to be one of our talking points as we get along on the show today. So much has happened in the country, whether you're talking about the East, the North, the South, or the West. Unfortunately, Kaduna State has been the most prominent in the news with regards to what's happened there, especially with the trains. Of course, our condolences go out to all the families of those, especially those who lost lives and those who are still not found. We're just hopefully trying to piece things together and get the appropriate response as we go forward from the federal government. But we're going to be talking about security a little later. Starting off the show now, talking about youth engagement in politics. And I have here with me Okweyemi Oke, who's the convener, Emerging Leaders Summit. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Buka, for having me.
Yeah, I mean, security is one of the main things that will obviously be a talking point with the elections coming. Unfortunately, it has been a talking point in every election that we've had since 1999. What are we talking about? The Niger Delta, which seemed to be the talking point for about a decade. Right. Then Boko Haram took over. And now it seems like every corner of the country has an issue. And people tend to put that argument that a lot of these issues are too complex for young people to tackle. Are there ways you see young people coming into the narrative to show, or I don't know, that they can tackle this head on? Because nobody seems to have any answers as it is anymore. We seem to be talking about candidates running for office, and all we hear are what zone you come from as against what you plan on doing to tackle these things. Do you think this is an issue that young people can fix?
Definitely. I believe that young people can fix it. Now, if you look at it predominantly, the people that are involved in these activities, be it Boko Haram, be it the Niger Delta War, be it the bandits, you know, they are young people. I don't want to believe that a 60, 70-year-old person, they could be part of the people but people on at the forefront of this insecurity are actually young people. So, however, what I'm saying, what is critical is that a lot of young people feel disenfranchised. They feel marginalized, and we are just, expressing our frustration in the wrong ways. So, nobody will fix it better than young people. And that's why we are clamoring for young people's participation in politics, especially in policy making. Because if we are involved in policy making, we can tackle, the issue of exclusion. We can tackle policy making that can actually facilitate empowerment and growth for young people. We can facilitate, development projects. Socioeconomic factors can come in. We can talk about gender equality. We can implement policies that can be more inclusive, especially economically, where we have a lot of young people more involved or more included in the economic plan of Nigeria, and we have a lot of them having sustainable, dignifying sources of income, busy, and they have an enabling environment where their dreams and visions can actually come true. I believe that we're going to have reduced, involvement of young people in wrongdoings, and of course, most of these activities, banditry, Boko Haram, and whatever it is, insurgency and insecurity. So I believe that young people are actually hands-on, and the time is now for us to actually get involved at every level possible. And I know that, of course, in the past weeks, in past months, past years, we have, coalitions of young people coming together to say, how do we tackle this? Northern youths are coming together to say, how do we help our people? But the truth of the matter remains that if you don't have the political power, if we're not in the place where we can make policy and make decisions, there is little or nothing we can do to actually change the narrative.
So still talking about young people getting involved, one of the most prominent things I hear young people say is that, they don't believe in zoning. There's almost a consensus among young people that, merit should be the criteria for electing, especially executive offices like the presidency or governorship or whatever. Why should it be any zone's turn? Why doesn't the best person for the job, take it? I always hear people say, I don't care where the person is from as long as you can fix Nigeria.
Right.
How do you sort of reconcile that with the argument also from people who say, why then do young people want a quota or space made for them? If you're good enough, why not just dive into the ring? How do young people dive into the ring without getting a quota or getting space open? So it seems like a bit of a...
Yeah, right?
Yes.
The truth of the matter remains that with the unofficial quota system that we work with is not signed into constitution about this zoning or no zoning. You know, I think Africa generally, it is high time we start setting our priorities right in terms of who we choose to lead us or to run us. Zone or no zone, notwithstanding. If we have someone who is competent. Now, that's not to say that across whatever zone that we say, okay, now I think 2023 everybody's talking about Southerners. Like, okay, is it turn for Southerners to actually run the country? Are we saying that across the South, we're not going to see someone who is competent enough to actually run? I don't believe so. Even if it is zoned to the north, I know that there are bright northerners that can actually run Nigeria better, all right? Just because someone was saying something during the week that as it is in Nigeria today, we cannot attack politics from the way we envision Nigeria to be. We have to see it from the way it currently is. We get into the system and we now start talking about to change the narrative and see how we can start building the Nigeria of our dream. The truth of the matter is that, I mean, we saw it play out rather in 2019. You know, with all the clamoring, with all the, we want youth, we want this, we want that. The Not to Run to Young bill led by the Yaga, that's Sami Todo and Miriam Lau, she was still new. It was signed to law and we have young people come. We had the advantage, you know, for us to actually take power and start seeing how we can start correcting some of these policy limitations, you know, that we have in engaging young people. But we lost it, actually, because we don't have a, you know, a united front. It's not, you know, youth participation in politics generally in Nigeria, like I say, is short-termed, is issue-based, and is largely unorganized, you know, because if there is no problem, issue-based, if there are no issues, if somebody does not die, if there's no issue, youth will not rise up to say we want this. It's short-term because, you know, if we had been able to sustain the energy we brought into the October 2020 protests, you know, that we had, I'm still in my 30s, I mean, coming to late 30s, since I've been involved in, you know, whatever it is that is happening in Nigeria today, that's like the largest mobilization of young people that I've ever witnessed. But it's short-term. After 2020, what happened? You know, so I believe that there is just a need for us as young people to get involved. Zoning or no zoning, there is a need for us to actually come together to start saying we start looking at merit-based leadership and not necessarily the zone. Zones might be important, you know, for the existing political structure that we have in Nigeria until we're able to get involved in policy making and, you know, change the narrative.
I want to talk about party politics now, and that is a very big one for a lot of people. You know, like you said, with the Not Too Young to Run bill being passed in 2019, one of the biggest conversations was, okay, how do young people get into the game? There was a lot of third forces that were established, you know, that came on. We had all of these parties here and there. There was even a suggestion about young people forming their own party called the Youth Party. I don't know that it necessarily had an effect, because we ended up finding out at the end of it that the best way, at least at the time, to get power is to infiltrate, for want of a better word, one of these other parties, and which is what I want to talk about now, and let us understand how this infiltration is supposed to work and if it's actually the best route. We're joined now by Pro Tem Chairman of Movement of the People. Thank you very much, Seun Kuti, for being here today. And I want to direct this question to you now, because the third force is something that's talked about a lot, and I know something you also like to talk about. And Banky W has been a talking point in the last couple of days. He ran for office in 2019 under a third force party. We hear now that he's a member of the PDP and he's going to be running in that party. Realistically speaking, it seems like a smart move. Young people tend to frown at things like this. What are your thoughts on how, you know, you infiltrate these parties to get into the system at least?
Well, first and foremost, you know, let me use this medium to congratulate Banky on his move, but to also say, well done. Well done. I, as the Pro Tem Chairman, I left my house in Ikeja, packed all my best books, went to toast Banky W.
With your for your party. Okay, so your problems are different.
Well done. You call me for another time. I am waiting. You know, that being said, I think, you know, Yoruba people have an adage that is very interesting here. It's Onokon Waja, meaning there's no one route to get to the market, right? But my way doesn't have to be the best way. Doesn't have to be everybody's way. You know, politics is a game of opinions. I believe, though, that we as young people cannot build anything great sitting down with the people that have destroyed Nigeria. There's nothing they have to offer. And they say we are looking for power. We're not looking for that power. Yeah, they have power, but they have power is wide.
So what power are you looking for?
We are looking for real people power, not tyrannical power. You understand? The only power we can get working with the people that are controlling Nigeria now in their so-called big parties, because that's what they're just big parties, Because somebody told me it's because they have structure. I said, well, looking at APC convention, what it took for them to get there, that is not, there's no structure there, So we can only sit down with these people, these big parties, and play their game. In this case, there's no infiltration, because people say, I change things from the inside. I would say, name one time in history of humanity. It is not African history, which is the oldest history, by the way. Let's not be bragging. But
so you think it's an impossible move?
No, all
to
history,
change?
all of man's history. When has change ever come from within?
There would also be the argument that when in some of the biggest democracies in the world, where has a third force ever achieved anything?
Yeah, many of the changes in the world has been so-called third force. But me, I don't even believe in third force. Third force is elitist. It sounds like a group of well-educated, rich people that don't like what is going on now, wanting to carry themselves to one side and say, we are giving you the third option. No. This is not, I'm not saying third force. I'm saying the people have always organized. The Labour Party in England, that is probably the second biggest party, still fighting for the people. It was called Third Force when it was formed in the 70s, to fight for welfareism for the people and things like that. So change must always come from without. We, the people, must be able to find validation in our own ability to build the Nigeria we want to see from scratch. These people have failed. Except we want to, continue to make it seem as if there's something they are doing that we don't know. But we all know,
Do you think the youth, that word is so vague now, because
exactly.
I don't even know where the age category is anymore. Because,
at 40, we are still youth. I say, what?
Do you think young people are hungry enough that when you hear what he's saying, that people should actually be the ones holding that power? When you have conversations with young people, do you feel that people are hungry enough? Apathy has crept in on so many levels, whether it's because of how elections have always turned out in Nigeria, whether it's October 2020, there's just a certain sort of, you can feel it amongst people who are just like, what will change? Do you get that, or do you still see hunger?
The truth of the matter is that I feel Seun's passion, and I see the passion of several other people online. But see, when it comes to politics, I deal with the grassroots. I work at the grassest of the roots, I understand something, For Seun is passionate about, let's create the change. An average person who is going to vote is passionate about, let me feed my stomach. I'm telling you the truth. So the truth of the matter is that people are hungry. They want the change. But how are we going to get to that change is a journey, is a process, right? The average politician today will still weaponize poverty, to buy the votes of people because people just want to survive. I agree with Seun to a large extent. So I believe that, yes, a lot people are hungry for change, but the people that we are talking about that can deliver this change is in the numbers, They don't see what we see. They don't feel the passion. All they want to do is they want to survive. And so a lot of people have become Esau, selling birthright for immediate gratification. So if you want to go the route Seun is talking, it's a long-term route. I like the fact that is it
really though? We've seen, with all the pockets of what we see across the country now, though violent, you can sense something. Maybe the channeling is different, or how it's sort of, I don't know.
I tell you, Buka, I see...
There's an obvious impatience across the country.
It is. The impatience is there. But when we come to reality, right? I was talking to one of the guys running for House of Representative in 2023, and currently he's in House of Assembly in Lagos State, and I spoke to him about empowerment. You need to do something for your people, something like that. He said, okay, forget about empowerment. My people understand beer and rice. If I give to them, it was so sure, it was telling me so confidently that my heart broke, right? Yeah. So what I'm saying is that even if it's not long term, if we are looking at 2023, we are late. We have missed the bus. You know, I was hoping that 2020, like when we had the October 2020 incidents and we were able to put ourselves together, I was hoping that we were able to form a force continually and build on it. Seun comes up and every other person gets buy-in from every other influential people, and we begin to mobilize at the grassroots.
Seun, do you think that was a lost opportunity? Do you think anything will be different about 2023?
Well, okay, that's two questions. Okay, real quick. 2020 lost opportunity, not really, because it was not standing on that footing.
Yeah.
It was an NSAS movement, you know. And I feel we as Nigerian people, you know, emotions drive us a lot. And NSAS was something driven purely by emotions, not strategy. Oh, police is killing us. Let's attack the police, you know, not the root causes. So Nigerians have to be interested in really facing the root causes of issues, not the symptoms. You know, like some weeks ago when people were shouting, oh, cultism killed one boy in school, oh, young people are doing rituals. Even right now that you say, oh, people care about their stomach when they vote. It's not when we vote we care about our stomach. You see, the reason why poor people sell their votes is because journalists sell their words, judges sell their decisions. I'm telling you, bankers sell their loans to their best friends. Everybody sells, you know, and the poor people see this. So this is their own opportunity to gain from the system. Why should I not? Trust me, if we, the professionals, have played our part, we didn't take bribe to write words in newspaper. We did not help them in the civil service to carry legal files all over the place and help corruption and money laundering in the banks and all the things we do that get all the way to the people that make sure that they are impoverished in the first place. Trust me, they will not. Because when we act like it is the poor people that sell their votes, we lie. Poor people are influenced by what we do. They believe in us more than they believe in the government. I'm telling you, if I go somewhere and I say something, Tinubu goes somewhere and say something, if you go there and take a secret poll, maybe they wouldn't want to say it, but say, who did you believe, Seun or Tinubu just spoke? If people say, oh, we believe Seun is more, because nobody trusts Nigerian politicians. So we know that it is not because people are that way. We've given them no option. And until we give Nigerian people true option, where we've politicized them, as you said, in the grassroots, being able to mix with the people. I've been to, not only in Lagos, I've gone to Onitsha, Oka, been to Kaba, in Kogi, we just got our office in Abuja, so we have to go there for everybody, all the neck of MOP to come together, you know, in the process of our registration. You know, so I've been to a lot of places and I understand that Nigerians aren't as simple as we think. They know. They just don't want to be engaged. There's nothing, you know, they're tired of choosing between a rock and a hard place or the devil and the deep blue sea. We, the professionals of Nigeria, have been given this opportunity. I keep saying it. We are not so special. We are the ones. Trust me, and this is spiritual. This is my own spirituality. Let me share it on your show. We are the ones that asked our ancestors. And that's why we are blessed. That's why we are giving all these extra resources. You know, and that's why the world spends so much of its effort distracting us, you know, with twerking and all this nonsense. I'm telling you, they spend billions to distract us. We are hard to distract. Billions, it's $1 billion industry every year to just distract us. Anyway, we are the ones that told our ancestors that send us back to avenge you. That's what we said. Send us. We are the ones. So they say, take all these things and go back. So we're able to rise above this oppression and see front. And our duty is not to just stay there and say, fresh air, life is good. No, it's our duty to now look behind and bring our people up. We are the only ones that can create this platform. The poor people of Nigeria can never have the time and the resources to organize, to liberate themselves. We are the ones. And we drop the ball every time when we align with the people that oppress us. We drop the ball.
Are you still going to run for office?
No, I'm still going to be MOP chairman, but we inspire a lot of people that will run for office.
You had changed your mind.
No, because...
But we need to go.
Okay, no
we
problem.
need to go, unfortunately.
No problem.
Thank you very much, guys. I mean, honestly, a lot of what you guys have said is true. There's no denying the fact of what is really ahead of us and what's realistic. So, fingers crossed. I think our fingers have been crossed for too long, Shah.
Yeah, no, this is the time. Our people have woken up. We've started the journey.
Yeah.
We've started the journey. It's a long journey.
We're on the right path.
We'll take a break now and be right back. Please stay with us.